I was born and raised in San Francisco, one of 5 kids, Irish Catholic family. I have 2 twin brothers that are 2 years younger than I am, and they're Jim and John. And John was 42 when he died. We used to talk almost every day. We were extremely close. And I knew that he had had pains in his shoulder, that he had kept going back. He told me about a year later they found cancer. He was treated, and then within 2 years it came back. And at such a rate that there was nothing they could do. And that was right before Christmas, and we couldn't tell anybody until after January. So we gave him the best Christmas. And then we got into, okay, what needs to be done, and he asked me if I would go over and help him out. He lived over in Walnut Creek, so I would go over on a Monday and usually stay till Wednesday night, Thursday. It wasn't bad at first. I got to just reminisce with him, and I kind of took it where he wanted to go, and I didn't want to just talk about dying, and so we would still do what we used to do and banter with each other, and I wanted to let him be him as long as he could. I could definitely see the decline, and it got to the point when he asked me if I could shave him, and the look in his eyes, I knew he was just heartbroken to get to that point, because then we couldn't pretend it wasn't happening. We just had I loved him so much, and we had since we were little kids, such a bond. I never ever considered it a burden. So I took care of him until at the end they decided he was going to go to the hospital, and he died in the hospital. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever done, and to do it twice is almost unbearable, even now when I think about it. He died in 2002. Well, he came to live with us before John got sick, and he was here for 10 years. To me, he was never the serious brother. You know, he was a jokester. He liked to party. In fact, I used to joke with him when John passed. I said, "Don't you dare die in my house." And he did. But he wouldn't do things to help himself, and that made it harder. And it was harder because he was here. I mean, he was downstairs in his own place, but I couldn't go anywhere. That was, I couldn't get away from it. I think as a result, I got really depressed, and my husband had the job of taking care of it, watching his best friend die, taking care of his wife, who was, I mean, I had such different outlooks between the two of them, and there was nobody to talk to, and so it was not a good thing. With Jim, it was okay, you know, and when he asked me to clean him, I knew that was his little point. So then I turned, and in fact, he told me when I took him to the doctors, and the doctor said, "It's time to call hospice in." I just broke my heart. He said, "Kathy, I've only got about 2 weeks. Can I just die here?" And I thought, he's getting me to the end, you know. But I got when he was dying, he saw John. "Hey, John," and I broke it. I just lost it. And I said, "Who are you talking?" And he said, "John, don't you see him? John." The morning that he died, he was laying in bed, but his feet were on the ground like he was trying to get up. So I thought, okay, John came back to get Jim. But I thought, wow, John came back for Jim. And that was that was nice. I mean, nobody understands that, but that's okay, because I do.